Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drakewing Game, and a Subby Mounts Word of the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Coffee Buns. So y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go! Alright. A few of the store windows are always worth a second glance, and I pause in front of a few to see if anything's new. One is worth stopping for. There's a women's boutique that tends to have the most eye-catching collection of any store in the city, at least among the ones I'm aware of. I've never been inside, but tonight's not the first time I've stopped. A half-dozen white featureless mannequins stand behind a plate glass window, each dressed in what must be the season's new collection. Three immediately catch my eye. A dramatic off-shoulder gown and emerald green satin sleeves only leave one sleeve wrapped around a bicep, creating a suspenseful asymmetric impression. A black mini dress drapes an outer sheath of interlocked leaf-like shapes around a plain body contouring tube, extending out to the calf and shoulders to create texture and contrast against the skin. But somehow what catches my attention most is a simple red cocktail A-line dress with a V-neck. It's definitely the least adventurous item on display. There's a simple classic quality that draws my eye. No, I can't tarry long. The sidewalk is only so wide and people will have to walk around it. The opinions these strangers could generate about a spindly guy ogling dresses is enough to keep my time brief. My appreciation for women's fashion has been a source of frustration since high school. It seemed like the most natural thing in the world at the time. Why wouldn't a guy like a woman dressed in nice clothes? Every time I brought it up, the conversation never went how I hoped. Guys quickly moved on to imagining a girl out of the clothing, or fixated on how clothing emphasized the body underneath. Attempting to steer the conversation back to the way the actual clothes looked was always met with suspicion, though I got accused of being gay and or wanting to dress in the clothes myself. I'd like to tell you I was mature enough that such taunting didn't affect me, but you were a teenager too at one point. Eventually I stopped bringing it up. Even among girlfriends I tried to play it cool, as though I'd wager if you polled them they'd say I gave them more compliments on their outfits than most of their boyfriends. Not that that did enough to keep me from being single at the moment, but beautiful women wearing beautiful clothes is beautiful. It's the most obvious fucking statement in the world, but one that I feel I can't express out loud without attracting skepticism. Any more lingering might look suspicious, so I'll only stay a moment more. I mean, there's still a few more blocks before Murph and Murphy's. Yeah, I think you are definitely imagining yourself in that dress, buddy boy. I don't pause at any more shops along the way. It's too early for the bar to be crowded, but Naomi's antlers would have let me pick her out of any crowd. Except for that one time I went to meet her at a ramen shop and sat down across from a buck who was in the middle of his meal. With more furries in town, You fucking furries! With more furries in town, I need to be a little more careful when I'm recognizing her. Leo, over here! Maybe she too knows I don't need the help, but she's not one to miss the opportunity for a cheerful greeting. I take the stool next to her. Hey, Blitzen! Naomi giggles into her half-finished bee's knees and shoves my shoulders. She lets me get away with too many of those. Roman appears from the other side of the bar with a towel over his shoulder. Hey, you're early. I don't have your drink ready. You're making me look bad. Ash told me she'd close up herself. Nice. Let me get your drink, though. He pulls out a tumbler and flicks a large block of ice to make it spin around the glass wall. She's such a sweetie. Don't tell her I said that, though. Ash's appraisal of Naomi is still fresh in my mind. I promise I won't. Roman stirs gin, Campari, and vermouth in a second ice-filled glass. Think you'll invite her one of these nights? Like for friends? Like for friend drinks? He strains the drink into its glass. Yeah, if you think she'd want to come. I grimace. I don't know, she's kinda got her own thing going on. Roman twists an orange peel over the Negroni and drops it in. He slides the drink toward me. Your usual, sir. I take the glass and lift it up. Salute. Naomi has just enough left in her cocktail to clink her glass and cheers. If you ever do, let us know and we can wingman for you. I almost spit out my first sip. What? Oh, yeah, we'll totally hype you up. I'm not looking to date Ash. We've already worked together for like 2 years, you know, right? That just means you know her really well. Way better basis to start a relationship when you know what she's into. I'm very aware of what she's into, and that definitely does not include me. What kind of girl wouldn't want a dude like you? Am I being interrogated right now? You're the one that should be getting grilled right now. What the hell were you talking to my boss about? Naomi circles one of her keratin-tipped fingers around the edge of her coupe glass. Oh, I'll never tell. Furries always look extra smug when they smirk. It's probably all the extra nose they have to turn up. What happened? Naomi was skulking around in the back office with my boss today, and then she was all coy about some surprise they're preparing together or something. What were you two talking about? Look, I don't like you more than Leo, and you are terrible at remembering to keep things in confidence. She snaps her fingers. Water, sparkling. You're not getting any secrets out of me. Roman scoops some ice into a pint glass and shoots some club soda out of a bar gun. Can't you whisper it to me? She snatches the glass from him and brings the straw to her lips. No way, and you're gonna find out tomorrow. Stop being so impatient. Are you gonna start working for us or something? Oh god, no, I'm way too busy at Barlow's. Boss putting you through the rat race? She's a mouse, first of all, and we're just really busy. We've also started up a lot of distribution deals with companies around town who are using the tea for, like, excursions. What kind of excursions? Like, I think one is for flying lessons. We make sure the customers turn into birds and then some guide throws them in a bus and they go out to a field and learn how to get airborne. Sounds like that would need a lot of waivers. Hasn't stopped people yet. But there's like a mountain goat one where you go rock climbing and one where you turn into the same animal as your pet so you can talk with them. Man, I wonder when I'm gonna get around to having some of that tea. Whenever you show up. Yeah, but then I feel like I have to make the most of it. Like it's not worth it unless I take a long weekend to do all the animal stuff. I don't even know what I'd turn into, so I couldn't schedule what stuff I'm gonna do. Just take some and find out. You'll just turn back the next morning. You don't have to make a big deal out of changing your first time. You did totally rearrange your life after having the tea for the first time. Well, I did. Not everybody has to go full-time like me. I remember the day Naomi came back from the cafe with a new body and name to match. We were roommates at the time, and getting used to living with an anthropomorphic doe was a lot to take in. The number of hygiene products in our shared bathroom exploded as she had new fur and antlers and hooves to care for, not to mention all the makeup. Looking back, I don't think I handled the change all that well. I got a little standoffish with my friend whose presentation changed so drastically overnight. But she was having such a good time in her new life, she didn't take much notice of me being more withdrawn. Still like that's out of the character for me now anyway. Fortunately, she started making enough to upgrade her own place and Roman moved into her room. We're better friends now than we were as roommates, which is probably typical of most people. I do wonder what I'd turn into, though. Otter. Naomi crunches some ice between her teeth. Roman stops wiping the glass he was drying. Really? Yep, otter. Roman is natural, looking confused. How do you... Your job is a lifeguard. You're tall and lean and masculine. You're romantic and you're a big goofy doofus. Total otter material. Oh. Guess I'll do it before the summer's over so I can get some swimming in. The fur will keep you warm. You'll have the whole beach to yourself in the winter. I'm raising my eyebrow at Naomi. Do you know what everyone's going to turn into? Almost always. Sometimes it's really easy. What would Leo turn into? Naomi turns and looks down her snout at me. I gulp. She turns away and snaps before pointing at her glass for Roman to refill. I've got some theories, but none I'm confident enough to say. I'm simultaneously relieved and disappointed. You lived with him for like 2 years. You seriously can't tell after that long? Leonardo here's a tough nut to crack. Silent types can be more difficult. I realize it's been forever since I've taken a sip of my cocktail. The ice has diluted the Negroni a touch. Yeah, I'm very, aloof and mysterious. They both just laugh. Totally, bro. Our night of drinking doesn't last much longer. We can only get away with talking when it's early in Roman's shift, and eventually the bar fills up with regular customers. Naomi and I both have shifts that give us embarrassingly early bedtime, so we each head home while it's still light out. She gives me a hug goodbye and a wink before telling me she'll see me tomorrow. Second yell, water time. Alright guys and gals, we are back. Let's jump right back in. The subway ride home is even shorter from Murph and Murphy's, and I walk the 5 flights to my apartment. I flick on the light and toss my keys onto the kitchen counter. A few of the mugs Roman neglected to bring back to Awakenings are scattered on top. I'll see if I remember to bring them back tomorrow. The nice thing about Roman and I working on opposite sides of the beverage service industry coin is that we each have the apartment to ourselves nearly all the time. I'm asleep by the time he gets back, and I leave before he's up. If he didn't leave some of his stuff out, it would be hard to tell I live with someone. Which means I'm left all alone to indulge in my incredibly intrusive hobby of knitting. I throw some cooking shows on the TV for background as I continue the hat I started yesterday. It won't be relevant for a couple months, but there are a lot of warm weather items to knit. Hopefully I'll find someone to take it by the time fall rolls around. though I'm running short on family and friends to gift them to. Maybe I'll even get around to figuring out a way to sell them. The idea doesn't excite me much. I'm dubious about the idea of turning my hobby into a way to make money. Maybe clothing drives don't mind when people drop off handmade stuff. My precious few free hours while away as the hat proceeds from 1/3 done to 2/3 done. I can make a beanie in one evening at this point, but I'm trying to increase the complexity of my patterns. There's the remains of a big pot of vegetarian Thai curry I made a few nights ago, which goes down as quickly as it takes to heat up. I appreciate my sleep, and there's not much tempting me to stay up, so I head to my bedroom as the sun sets. I pause in front of my bathroom mirror. I'm not in the habit of checking myself out in the mirror, but I'm compelled to notice my body for the first time in a while. It's probably what Naomi said. The fact that she was able to so confidently project what Roman would turn into gave me pause. He's got such an obviously specific and admirable figure. He looks exactly what you expect like a beach lifeguard to look like, and he gets all the attention that elicits. Meanwhile, I'm normal. I mean, I don't think I'm perfectly average in every respect. I'm skinnier than most, I've got a pretty distinct hair color, and my face was never the thing keeping me from getting dates. There's just nothing to latch onto, no characteristics striking enough to take note of. Sometimes I feel like I'm just sort of a big blank slate. Maybe that's why Naomi couldn't figure out what I'd turn into. There's nothing interesting enough about me to pin some kind of appraisal on. You're getting melancholy again, dude. Just get out of the apartment next time you have a day off. Go to the beach or something. It's not guaranteed to work, but it feels better to have a plan. I flip off the lights and slip into my bed, folding the sheets down to my waist to keep myself cool. My ability to ignore dinner-time traffic outside is unmatched, and I fall asleep after only a little bit more stewing in my thoughts. Day 2. Awakenings. I wake up earlier than necessary. My sleep wasn't any better or worse than usual, but I wake up well before my alarm or the sunrise. I know I won't fall back asleep, and it wouldn't do me any good, so I slide out of bed. It's a useful habit I've developed to wake up early when circumstances call for it. I've never missed a train or plane, no matter how early it is, even if I do oversleep on days off. Something must have told me I needed to be up early, and that something is waiting for me in the form of a text from my boss that came in an hour earlier. May I don't know. Oh yeah, his boss, the lady. Okay. I remember. May I request your presence at the cafe half an hour early today, please? Overtime included. I had a feeling this was coming. Naomi said her surprise was coming today, and it was a coin flip whether it would be before work or after. There's no way I'm turning down overtime, so I tap out a response while feeling some guilt that I'm not nearly as formal in my text. Not that she's ever complained. Like with most of her managerial style, I think she writes like that for herself. I take my usual level of care to remain quiet during my morning routine to avoid rousing Roman, which is basically none at all. He's a remarkably sound sleeper, and even after he wakes up, he barely knows what's going on for an hour. When you work at a coffee shop with free access to yesterday's pastries, there's not much to do before heading out the door. I don't even need to grab a coat as I head out and lock the door behind me. It's just a 20-minute train ride, my usual walk before I'm standing in front of the shop. Hey, Bean. Ash approaches from around the opposite corner with her hands stuffed deep into her jacket pockets. Morning. Boss called you in early for overtime? Yep, I figured she's gonna reveal whatever she and Naomi were talking about. I figured too. Looking forward to it? Not as much as I am to the overtime. Yeah, me too. Who knows? I might need it if whatever scheme they hatch doesn't save the cafe. Her sentiment is too blunt for me to respond right away, but it's not one I disagree with. Yeah, me too. I was trying to figure out what she's wearing. It's like shorts? Odd-looking shorts. Like a short mini-skirt, maybe? It's probably what it is, like a short mini-skirt. Because honestly, I thought it was like a pair of jeans, and then I looked at the legs, and I'm like, wait. Well, wait, could it be jeans that she carved out? Maybe. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout-out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank you all for all you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silvermoon. Thank you for going a bit above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you to our gold tier patron, Tresm Guy. You're awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to our ultimate tier. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our not-safe for work contents as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!